It all started with a whisper. A whisper so faint, yet so powerful, it traveled from village to village, city to city, until it reached my ears. They said deep in the heart of the forest, where the trees grew so tall they blocked out the sun, there lived a goddess. Not the kind of goddess you pray to for blessings or protection. No, this one was different. She was a snake goddess, and she could make you rich. Filthy rich, but only if you made love to her. I didn't believe it at first. Who would? It sounded like one of those crazy stories old people tell to scare children. But then I saw it with my own eyes. My neighbor, a man who had been struggling to feed his family for years, suddenly started building a mansion. He drove a shiny new car and wore clothes that cost more than my entire house. When I asked him how he got so rich, he just smiled and said, "The forest knows." That's when I knew the whispers were true. I couldn't resist. I had to see for myself. One evening, after the sun had set and the forest was cloaked in darkness, I followed the path that led to the goddess's shrine. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and rotting leaves. Every step I took felt heavier, as if the forest itself was trying to push me back. But I kept going, driven by the promise of wealth. When I finally reached the shrine, my heart nearly stopped. It was a small, crumbling structure covered in moss and vines. In the center was a statue of a woman with the body of a snake. Her eyes seemed to follow me as I approached. I knelt before the statue and whispered, "I've come for your blessing." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, I heard a soft hiss. My blood ran cold as the statue began to move. The stone cracked and crumbled away, revealing a living, breathing creature. She was beautiful, with smooth, shimmering scales and eyes that glowed like embers. But there was something about her that made my skin crawl. "You seek wealth?" she asked, her voice like the rustle of leaves in the wind. I nodded, too terrified to speak. "Then you must give me something in return," she said, slithering closer. I won't lie to you. What happened next was the most terrifying experience of my life. The goddess wrapped her coils around me, her cold scales pressing against my skin. She whispered things in my ear, things I can't repeat, and then, well, let's just say I left the forest a changed man. When I got home, I found a bag of gold coins waiting for me on my doorstep. I was rich, but the wealth came at a price. Every night, I had the same dream. I was back in the forest, kneeling before the goddess, and she was telling me to return. I wasn't the only one. Soon, people from all over started coming to the forest. Men, women, young, old, it didn't matter. They all wanted the same thing, wealth, and the goddess was more than willing to give it to them. But not everyone came back. Some people disappeared into the forest and were never seen again. Others returned, but they were different. They had a distant look in their eyes, like they were no longer fully human. Then there was the case of Mr. Adebayo. He was a married man with 2 kids, and like the rest of us, he wanted to be rich. But when he went to the forest, something unexpected happened. The goddess fell in love with him. She told him he could have all the wealth he desired, but on one condition: he could never make love to his wife, or any other woman, again. If he did, she would take everything away, including his life. Mr. Adebayo agreed. He came back with enough money to last a lifetime, but he was a broken man. He couldn't even look at his wife without feeling guilty. As more people visited the goddess, strange things started happening in our town. Crops withered, animals died, and people fell ill. Some said it was a curse, a punishment for dealing with the goddess. I tried to stay away, but the dreams kept coming. And every time I closed my eyes, I could hear her voice, calling me back to the forest. I couldn't resist any longer. I went back to the forest, hoping to find answers. But what I found was something far worse. The goddess was waiting for me. She smiled, her fangs glinting in the moonlight. "You've come back," she said. "I knew you would." And then she told me something that made my blood run cold. "You belong to me now." When I woke up the next morning, I felt different. My skin was cold, and my veins seemed darker, almost black. I looked in the mirror and saw a mark on my chest, a snake coiled around a heart. It wasn't there before. I tried to scrub it off, but it wouldn't budge. It was like the mark was part of me now. That night, I had another dream. The goddess was standing over me, her eyes glowing red. "You are mine," she said. "If you try to leave me, you will suffer." I woke up screaming. My wife was shaking me, asking what was wrong. But I couldn't tell her. How could I explain that I had made a deal with a snake goddess? More people started disappearing. Some were found dead, their bodies twisted and broken. Others were never seen again. The town was in a panic. People were afraid to leave their homes, afraid to go near the forest. But I knew the truth. The goddess was taking her payment. One day, a man came to my house. He was dressed in expensive clothes and drove a fancy car. He said he had heard about the goddess and wanted to know how to find her. I tried to warn him. I told him it wasn't worth it. But he didn't listen. He was desperate, just like I had been. The man went to the forest and never came back. A few days later, his car was found abandoned on the side of the road. There was no sign of him. I knew what had happened. The goddess had taken him. I went back to the forest, hoping to find some way to break free from the goddess's grip. But when I got there, she was waiting for me. "You cannot escape me," she said. "You made a deal, and now you must pay the price." I begged her to let me go. I told her I would do anything. She smiled. "There is one way," she said. "Bring me someone else, someone pure of heart. If you do, I will release you." I didn't know what to do. I couldn't bring someone else to the goddess. But I couldn't live like this either. I was trapped. I thought about it for days. Then, I remembered a young girl in our town. She was kind and innocent, always helping others. She was pure of heart. But could I really do it? Could I really sacrifice her to save myself? I made a plan. I would bring the girl to the forest, but I would find a way to save her. I couldn't let the goddess win. I took the girl to the forest, but things didn't go as planned. The goddess was waiting for us. "You think you can trick me," she said, her eyes blazing with anger. I grabbed the girl and ran. The goddess chased us, her coils slithering through the trees. We barely made it out alive. I thought it was over. But that night, I had another dream. The goddess was standing over me, her eyes glowing red. "You cannot escape me," she said. "I will find you." I woke up screaming. The mark on my chest was glowing. The goddess wasn't done with me yet. To be continued. What happens next? Will the narrator escape the goddess's grasp, or will he become another victim of her curse? Find out in Season 2 of The Serpent's Bargain.